Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha Kudash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of 2 Chronicles, the 21st chapter, continuing from the 20th chapter as we saw the latter end of Jehoshaphat's reign in his league with I think it was Ahaziah. Let's see, who was it again? One second, let's find this individual here. Yeah, with Ahaziah, which displeased the Lord, right? And therefore the Lord had it to where the ships that they had built together, they basically didn't succeed in trying to go get that gold and so on. Long story short, Jehoshaphat dies. You know, he is buried honorably, right? They bury him in the sepulchres of the kings and his fathers. And now here we are with Jehoshaphat's son and successor, Jehoram. So 2 Chronicles Chapter 21 verse 1. Now Jehoshaphat slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David. And Jehoram his son reigned in his stead. And he had brethren, the sons of Jehoshaphat, Azariah, and Jahiel, and Zechariah, and Azariah, and Mikael, and Shephatiah. All these were the sons of Jehoshaphat, king of Israel. And their father gave them great gifts of silver, and of gold, and of precious things, with fenced cities in Judah. But the kingdom gave he to Jehoram, because he was the firstborn. So you can imagine there were a lot of riches that they got, right? So they were pretty well off, right? All his siblings and so on. And Jehoram, being the firstborn, ends up inheriting the kingdom. Now when Jehoram was risen up to the kingdom of his father, he strengthened himself and slew all his brethren with a sword, and divers also of the princes of Israel. So now we see the true colors of Jehoram, right? As he gets a taste of power, he pretty much grows into a full-fledged demon here, murdering his brethren, right? All of them. And even some of the princes of Israel. You can imagine these would be the ones that did not agree per se with, with his choice of actions there. Jehoram was 32 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 8 years in Jerusalem. And he walked in the way of the kings of Israel, like as did the house of Ahab. For he had the daughter of Ahab to wife, and he wrought that which was evil in the eyes of the Lord Yahweh. So instead of walking in the ways of his father Jehoshaphat, he chose to walk after the ways of the kings of Israel in wickedness. Howbeit the Lord would not destroy the house of David, because of the covenant that he had made with David, and as he promised to give a light to him and to his sons forever. Right? In this case, to always allow David to have one to sit on the throne here. In his days, the Edomites revolted from under the dominion of Judah and made themselves a king. Because remember, going back to prior to Solomon's time, as David conquered the neighboring nations, into Solomon's time, we had dominion over them, and going into the reign of the kings afterward. But at some point, that dominion started to lessen, and these nations started to revolt, right? They saw the divide and the weakness in Israel. And first and foremost, the Lord using them as adversaries against Israel when when the kings started to go off or go astray. So we see here the Edomites revolt. They make themselves a king, right? They're claiming their independence. Then Jehoram went forth with his princes and all his chariots with him, and he rose up by night, and smote the Edomites, which compassed him in, and the captains of the chariots. So the Edomites revolted from under the hand of Judah unto this day. So when they revolted, he went there, he smote some of them. But, in the overall long run during his reign, they didn't just do one revolt, right? Eventually, they were able to break free and break loose from the control of being under Judah. The same time also did Libnah revolt from under his hand, because he had forsaken the Lord Yahweh, God of his fathers. Moreover, he made high places in the mountains of Judah, and caused the inhabitants of Jerusalem to commit fornication, and compelled Judah thereto. So he was going full force in the way of wickedness. As where his father, took down some of these high places, he set up more. Okay? And not only that, but he promoted and compelled Israelites to actually worship other gods. And that was a great, great offense to the Lord. So let's see what the Lord did. And there came a writing to him from Elijah the prophet, saying, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, God of David thy father, because thou hast not walked in the ways of Jehoshaphat thy father, nor in the ways of Asa, king of Judah, but hast walked in the way of the king of Israel, and has made Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem to go a-whoring, like to the whoredoms of the house of Ahab, and also hast slain thy brethren of thy father's house, which were better than thyself. You've done all this wickedness. Behold, with a great plague will the Lord Yahweh smite thy people, and thy children, and thy wives, and all thy goods. And thou shalt have great sickness by disease of thy bowels. So that's your intestines, your inner parts. Until thy bowels fall out by reason of the sickness day by day. And that is not something you want to deal with. See, external wounds, they can be treatments and all that. These kind of internal plagues, man, oof. Moreover, the Lord stirred up against Jeroboam the spirit of the Philistines and of the Arabians that were near the Ethiopians. And they came up into Judah and brake into it, and carried away all the substance that was found in the king's house, and his sons also, and his wives, so that there was never a son left him, save Jehoahaz, the youngest of his sons. So the Lord had it to where there was still at least one preserved, so that he could carry on the dynasty of David's lineage here. After all this, the Lord Yahweh smote him in the bowels with an incurable disease. So after the message that Elijah gave to he sent over here to Jehoram, right? The Lord ended up fulfilling that. So he got his wives, his children taken away, save for Jehoahaz, and then the Lord smote him with, note, an incurable disease. So he wasn't going to make it from this one. And it came to pass in process of time that after the end of 2 years, his bowels fell out by reason of his sickness. So it kept on progressing and getting worse and worse and worse to where his bowels fell out. So he died of sore diseases, and his people made no burning for him, like the burning of his fathers. And you can imagine this was likely in honor of, right? But he didn't get that. 32 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned in Jerusalem 8 years, and departed without being desired. Howbeit they buried him in the city of David, but not in the sepulchres of the kings. So that was the dishonorable death of Jehoram here for the wickedness that he did. Now, what I ended up looking up here was what are some possible now known diseases that are likely for Jehoram to have had, right, or similar. And I ended up finding here colon cancer. And when I looked up specifically, right, can colon cancer lead to intestines falling out? And so this is the overview AI answer here, which says, while not directly causing the intestines to physically, quote unquote, fall out, advanced colon cancer can lead to a condition called rectal prolapse, which can appear as if part of the intestine is protruding from the anus due to the tumor weakening the supporting structures in the rectum. However, this is a rare occurrence and usually only happens in very advanced stages of the disease. It says here, colon cancer, especially when large or located near the rectum, can weaken the muscles and tissues holding the intestines in place, potentially leading to prolapse. This is considered a very serious complication of colon cancer and usually indicates a late stage of the disease. It says, beside potential prolapse, other symptoms of advanced colon cancer include bowel obstruction, bleeding, abdominal pain, and weight loss. So it could be, that maybe this is what the Lord struck Jehoram with, right? We don't know. It says it was something of the bowels, but this is definitely interesting, to say the least. Had it been something like this, that's a very painful way to go out. So that brings us to the end of the book of 2 Chronicles, the 21st chapter. Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Barakah Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.